or they try to.
All right, and welcome back to our third segment of the Pittsburgh Business Virgin. We're here with Ted Ford, CEO of Knepper Press, based out of Clinton, Pennsylvania. And he's been with Knepper Press for 20 going on 20 years now. And he made the jump from corporate America way back when, and wanted to get into being a small business owner and seeing what he could do to grow it. So, Ted, with that in mind, what's some advice you could give for people that are looking to, take that leap of faith out into the small business world?
The things that come to mind, it's been a number of years, but if you're leaving a major corporation, probably good salary, good benefits, starting up something, buying something that exists, you probably make sure you've got your nest egg, put together in terms of how much money you think you're going to need for a year, 2 years of operation, because it'll probably take longer than you think to generate the revenues and the profitability and the cash flow that's going to sustain you. And if you live simply, even have a good year or two, is it sustainable? Put it back into your business until you're sure you've got things where you need them to be. So I guess just being financially very conservative in your planning and then in your execution as you go start off your company.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of times people, when they put a business plan together, everything is best case scenario. It has to, success is based on a perfect storm in essence, and it's not.
No.
It's kind of Murphy's Law to a certain extent. If it can go wrong, there's a pretty good potential it will go wrong, and you need to make sure you have enough capital. What about working with a close friend? Because you've known Bill for a long, long time.
Our entire lives, we've been,
Because a lot of time, and the reason why I ask is I think a lot of people watching this are thinking about leaving corporate America. They're got a buddy, they're over a beer, we should go do this and what have you. And how do you balance that?
We have a unique situation where we've been lifetime good friends. Yeah. We're very different, as adults in terms of our interests and what we do. But that layer of trust, we're almost like brothers in each other's families. We each grew up in each other's houses a ton. We each other know each other's families, our grandparents, the parents. Mm-hmm. So there's never a trust issue. That's always a given, and that's probably the one big thing that partnerships break down on, is that people don't trust each other. Yeah. And as long as you have that trust, and we see eye to eye business-wise very consistently, we can go in different directions, do different things. But you take away the trust element, you'd have a problem. I think some friend you might have only known, you think you know them from business, but you don't have that deep-seated long-term thing that
really know what their fabric is.
Yeah, yeah, that's unique. We had a very unique situation.
What about from the standpoint of working together? I think the other thing that you pointed out when we were talking off camera is that the two of you don't necessarily have the same strengths and weaknesses. Mm-hmm. There's things that he's good at, there's things that you're good at, and that's the other big piece that makes it work. So when someone's thinking about becoming partners with someone, mm-hmm. what's some of the advice that you would have, and how would you determine that?
Our personalities are different. You'd think sometimes that'd be an issue, but it's not. He's more of a mechanical machinery guy in our business. Mm-hmm. I'm more of a sales and marketing situation. So when we knew we weren't going to really overlap too much in our day-to-day involvement, we still overall strategically talk all the time, have lunch every day. So I'm fully abreast of all the issues in the plant.
You guys have lunch every day, huh?
Well, unless we're the customer or something, we pretty much, if we're together in the office, we eat together. And that's our time to probably kick around ideas, maybe talking
where
sports,
we going next?
Maybe talking about the business strategy too, and keep each other abreast of the best sales opportunities, some financial situations that I might be working on, or what's going on in the plant that he might be working on. So it's
how do you keep good people? I think one of the other things that probably has led to your success. I mean, I know you've grown it, and you have 10 times the people you today, or almost 10 times the people you have today than you did 20 years ago. How do you keep good people? Because I think that's the other thing. We were, we were chit-chatting about how tough the printing business is, and you were saying, well, the good news is the barriers of entry are considerable because you have to spend all this money on equipment and everything else. But at the same time, if you have a good employee, you probably want to hang on to them, especially salespeople and what have you.
Yeah, I think it's not any secret. People want to be on a winning team. So if you've got a winning organization, you're going in the right direction. You treat people right. They see you reinvesting in the business and doing things for the good of all the people. All those things come back, and they're just obvious to the employees that that it's a good company. People are happy. You come through. The communication between all the employees with everybody in the place are solid and honest, and so I think it's more just how you treat them and how you treat the business seriously, and that you're reinvesting in it, and you expect them to be great employees. You need good employees to run a good business, to have a winning team. So it's
that really starts from the top down, and people, your employees seeing the kind of person that you are, being approachable, I would imagine, and knowing who you are, and a 200-person company, all the way down to the guy that's sweeping up the paper shreds after.
Yeah, exactly. I think you get in. We're in there with them. I'm more or less now, and probably a coat and tie most of the time at the office, more so. But for years, I'd be back there, finishing up a job with the people on the line, wrapping it up. My partner still is. He's back out there, and people say, well, who's that? And they think he might be, the mechanic working on the press, and he's the owner of the building in the business. But he's out there with the workers, setting up new pieces of equipment, helping them when times get tough. So, very approachable.
What about this economy? Here we are, October of 2011. We have high unemployment. People are worried about a double-dip recession. What are you worried about?
Oh, all of those things. I mean, it's because printing's in definitely, that type of mode and more. So the economy definitely has you worried, and where demand will be next year. But
what have you done as a business owner to try to, stem some of that risk and sort of, in some ways it's almost a waiting game. You're waiting for the economy to come back a little bit.
Really, I'd say we spend a lot more time just making sure we're doing our best every day selling and marketing our company, because there's plenty of customers out there that don't know about us yet. And
so you're not worried about, you've looked at it as, hey, as long as we stay focused and spend money on marketing and keep doing that, everything else will take care of itself.
Well, that's the positive thing you have to do is just go. That's the obvious thing you have to do is get out and sell. And if you don't do that, you're going to have some prices to pay, tough decisions, layoffs, whatever. Yeah. That you'd just rather say, I gave it my best shot. Everybody here gave it their best shot. We're going to make sure we sell like crazy and do a good job at selling, and hopefully things will work
I think
out.
That's probably one of the biggest mistakes that people make. Is the moment things get tight, they kind of
freeze up.
They freeze up and they stop spending money on what's actually going to create money versus, you know what I mean.
Yep.
But you got to make sure it's trackable and its works, and you're not just throwing money away.
I think lots of people are nervous in this economy, and for good reason. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, his name is Ted Ford, CEO of Knepper Press. Awesome stuff today. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Check out Knepper Press. If you're sitting there watching this, whether you're a startup or a company that's been around for a while, quality stuff. Company that's been around for
a long time, 138 years.
138 years. They must be doing something right.
Thank you.
And I'm guessing we know why. It sounds like Bill and Ted have their hands around it.
Awesome. Put that together.
I don't know.
We got an excellent adventure.
Yeah, absolutely. Bill and Ted's venture. Absolutely. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much for your time today. And check them out, Knepper Press.
Thank you.